Next, we go back to Newtown. Within days, neighbors and friends began telephoning one another and then gathering to make sense of the violence. Hari Srinivasan reports on the beginnings of a group called Newtown United.
In a meeting space at the Newtown Library, more than 36 citizens gathered last night, not just to grieve, but to figure out what's next for their community. Afterwards, we sat down with a few of them for an extended conversation. Tom Bittman is a technology consultant. Poe Murray, a mother of 4. Linda Lubinsky works in marketing. Scott Wolfman owns a speakers bureau, and James Belden runs an environmental nonprofit.
So, James, let me start with you. What was the impetus for this conversation tonight?
I think a lot of us were feeling the same thing, that we were impacted by this event, not as much as some people, but that we felt helpless, and we needed an avenue to discuss how we felt about what was going on.
20 households lost first graders. 20. Those families are shattered. They can't do anything. I feel a bit of a responsibility for others in our community to help, to do something.
I came because Adam Lanza and Nancy Lanza live 100 yards from my home. And I was shocked and dismayed when I found out that they own 6 guns, and many of them being assault weapons that, created havoc in our community.
It's extraordinarily vile to take an assault rifle and kill 20 children. It strikes so deeply with all of us. And so looking back at Columbine, looking back at Virginia Tech, and all these spree killings that are happening in our country and at alarming rates.
My family came tragically close to being one of those families. My niece was only saved by her teacher, kicking the door shut and being shot in her foot.
When we tell people that we're from Newtown, people will say, "I'm sorry to hear that." What I want people to say is, I'm sorry for the pain you experienced, but I'm so proud of what you did with that experience.
Several of you said this is an opportunity for us, and we have to take advantage of this moment. Well, what does that mean?
I feel the politicians have failed to protect our children. And they cannot continue to do this to our children. They need to really pass legislation that's going to have a meaningful impact to prevent further tragedies.
Almost every issue in politics at the national level right now is so polarized, it's difficult to see a middle ground, from the fiscal cliff to immigration to gun control. But the fact is, this event was so heinous in its nature that there is now a willingness for middle ground.
Yeah, the time is not in the next few weeks, it is now. Originally, I was thinking we should grieve first, and we are grieving. We're going to go home and we're going to grieve some more. But now's the time where we can do the most, so we have to do it now.
This catastrophe happened in our town, and this is an opportunity for us to do something really good from a very tragic event that happened. Okay, this is a watershed moment for a meaningful change, and I think that we could do something big. And I want to be, defining our town by that, not by the tragic event that happened.
We've seen this happen too many times. You can run down the list of the places. And haven't we learned from that? Did we really have to lose 20 more children and 7 more adults? I mean, enough. Stop. Come on. What else do we need? Are we going to continue to let an industry control killing? And that's not the town, the country that I want to live in.
Do you think that it is possible for you to actually take action and create change, where history unfortunately shows us that while people really care right now, and while people are willing to have this conversation and hear you out, that it very rarely translates into political action and actual legislation that passes and changes in public opinion of gun ownership?
If we can ban supersized soda in New York City, I think we can do this.
I do have a cynicism in me that says, if we lose momentum, we're going to be footnoted to the next horrible tragedy that unfolds, a month from now, 2 months from now. And I hate that feeling. It's really cynical and a horrible thing to think, but it seems like that's sort of been the pattern over the last so many years.
I support responsible gun ownership. I've gone to firing ranges, I've fired guns, I don't own a gun. I would be happy to listen to responsible gun owners as well. I don't support banning all guns, just weapons that can just keep shooting and shooting and shooting.
And I feel the same way. You know, I grew up learning to shoot with my father, and it's one of the few things we did together. The fact is, we do need to start enforcing laws we have. We need to make some stronger laws, particularly regarding these high-powered weapons that are brutally efficient at killing people, because there's no need for civilians to have those.
I don't think we need to ban guns. I think we need to find the right balance. And it may not just be the guns. It might also be the ammunition. I mean, the fact that this boy was able to shoot more than 100 rounds in a short amount of time, something's wrong. Why is there that much ammunition out there? Maybe we need to do more in terms of legislation, in terms of tracking, in terms of what's happening in this household. There's a lot of ammo being sold to this household.
In the past couple of days, you've heard a couple of sort of tangential arguments. One saying, if that principal had a weapon, what is that? I mean, you knew her.
There is some basis for that argument, and I can understand. Somebody who wants to rob a store will less likely go in and rob that store because he wants something, if he's going to meet force when he gets there. Most of these guys are going out in a blaze of glory. Somebody else having a gun may kill him quicker and limit the damage, but you're not going to have schools and guns, really.
If there was a weapon in a school, it would have to be locked. Would she have had time to get that weapon? And I certainly hope people wouldn't be suggesting that she would carry the weapon.
We want trained teachers, trained administrators. Do they have to have marksmen on their resume? I wouldn't be against having security guards, but think about the cost, and we're struggling to fund our schools today.
I just wanted to make a point about guns, fighting guns. I don't think that worked out very well for Nancy Lanza. She owns 6 guns, and she's not with us. Period.
There are other communities looking to you for leadership and inspiration. How do you do this?
I don't know all the rules and regulations about gun control. I'm learning it now. But if we can do something locally to ban assault weapons, I'm all for it. Let's go, let's do it, and let's share that with other communities around us. Let them do it, and then let it spread across the country if nationally they're not going to do something about it.
And if nothing else, if we can get a good national discussion going and keep it going and get to a resolution, then we win.
Newtown is in mini America, and of course, you know, America is about being able to impact things and to change things no matter who you are. And of course, we do find ourselves in Newtown in an unfortunate place right now of being perhaps in a position to have a little more of a voice than we did on Thursday.
And I feel, you know, you say, what if nothing comes of this? Well, my mother always told me, if you don't try, nothing will happen. So at least we're going to try. You know, we're shooting for this kind of change. If it comes to here, at least it's not here. It's something.
There has also been speculation about the mental health of Adam Lanza, but experts and parents of children with a mental illness or a disorder like Asperger's warn that that kind of talk is premature. Learn more about that discussion online.